Time to react to your guys' hot takes once again. From Zag the 4. Hot take. The AI or fake leak of Antichrist made by M-Ball is better than the actual one. I might be put on a watch list for this. I originally said nah, and honestly I still disagree personally, but it's actually pretty solid. I do think it's a pretty good AI song, but the official what we actually got is much better. From Sith Studios 66. Hot take. The real Slim Shady is a mid song. First of all, how? Actually, not how. They actually replied to another comment under their original comment. They just said after listening to other songs from him, it's mid in comparison. Which I can kind of understand, but to say it's mid still is like, it's just crazy. You know, I would personally disagree, but hey, it's all subjective. From Jonathan Awies, I assume that is. Hot takes. The Death of Slim Shady is one of the worst Eminem albums. Okay. 8 Mile is very overrated. Okay, Mockingbird is the best Eminem song, with My Name Is close behind. Okay, the first one, it's hard to disagree. That's top 3, top 5 for me, for sure. 8 Mile. Do you mean the movie or the song? Either way, crazy take. Whew. It's like we're in a volcano or something. This hard disagree. And then Mockingbird is the best Eminem song. I don't think it's the best. It's definitely one of. So I don't think that one's a hot take, but those first two, ooh, man. You're crazy. From this fella, hot take. The Death of Slim Shady is mid, especially Houdini. Similar to the last one, hard disagree. It's just crazy that like Houdini and the whole album to you is mid. Like not a single song. Well, I guess you said mid, not trash. So there must be some decent tracks to you, but still mid. If you see this video, feel free to elaborate what songs you liked, which ones you didn't, and which ones are alright. From Arg Plays, hot take. Yaya is the best music to be murdered by song. Okay, if you guys have been following my channel and pay any attention, I've mentioned multiple times how I feel about Yaya. And if you haven't or don't remember, I'll explain really quick. I think it's by far the worst song on Music to be Murdered by, but that's just me, you know? Like Eminem and Royce da 5'9", like I love them, but even they couldn't save this song like that. It's the only mid kind of bad song, and I love this album very much. It's literally the only low point of the album. There's a couple like okay mid-ish songs, but this one is the bottom of the barrel for sure. You know, I'm glad some people like it. I've seen quite a few people react to me saying it's the worst, saying, you know, it's the best, like this guy right here, or girl, I'm sorry, but I would have to disagree. Okay, Rushan's back with more essays. My Eminem hot takes. 1. Eminem's perfect albums, not by your ranking, just by how people see them. Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, The Eminem Show, Marshall Mathers LP 2 are far from perfect. I'll cover each one at a time. Slim Shady LP. This album is fire. Probably his funniest. I'm sorry, just the spelling kind of just... Probably his funniest besides Encore. But as an album, I don't have a problem with its jokes, as even though it doesn't hold up the best, I think it's old enough for me to look past that. However, something I can't look past is the sheer amount of mid/missed opportunity songs. Songs like Brain Damage, My Fault, I'm Shady, As the World Turns, Come On Everybody. All songs I think are very mid. As the World Turns is just about the only one I go out of my way to re-listen to every once in a while. But all these songs are good, but don't have the best re-listening ability. However, 2 songs that I always loved that has some missed potential are Bad Meets Evil and If I Had. Both are great songs but suffer from several things. Bad Meets Evil suffers from, even though it's one of the only features on the album, it's very short and only really has 2 verses. And If I Had, also a hot take, way better than Rock Bottom, but it honestly has one of the most forgettable beats on the album. It's not bad at all and fits to the song, but it's just forgettable. Honestly, though this album is amazing, it's like a 7.5 out of 10. Mainly because it's not very fun for re-listens, especially in full album re-listens. Because the later half of the album is pretty mid compared to the amazing first half. 7 out of 10. Okay, I agree with some things you said here, and a lot of other things I disagree. Like, I don't go back to this album to re-listen like just the album. I have a lot of songs that I love from here, but yeah, I mean, to each his own, I suppose. I think it's like still is like a solid 9. I've stated in my original hot takes video, I don't think it's a perfect album like everybody makes it out to be, but it's still great. The Marshall Mathers LP. Okay, I definitely know this is gonna ruffle some feathers, but Marshall Mathers LP is a below top 5 album for me. I know people are gonna be like, oh, but what about Stan, The Way I Am, The Real Slim Shady? Hell nah. I might be the first person to say this, but Stan is not a 10 out of 10 song. Hear me out, the storytelling is amazing, but that's the only thing most people bring up. But for me, I feel like with huge storytelling songs like Stan, they aren't the best on re-listens. I'm gonna move away from Stan for now, so I don't get, shot. Songs like I'm Back and Drug Ballad don't really hold up well. In fact, the whole album doesn't hold up well. I can look past the Slim Shady LP not holding up well, because the album feels really old. So things like Christopher Reeve jokes and M talked about his drug addiction really don't hold up well. And the album also has a lot of underwhelming songs that people act like. Songs like Remember Me, Drug Ballad, Kim, and The Kids. Kim is especially one for me. That doesn't feel like a bad song, but it's very hard to listen to. Not because I have a problem with M screaming or such, but it feels like something that would hold up the best before 2006 when Kim and M got remarried. Honestly, this album is definitely better than some Shady LP, but for me it's hard for re-listens. And the fact that this was the first Eminem album I ever owned and listened to, honestly, it hurts for me. 6 out of 10. Sir, you might have a mob coming after you, like Relapse cult followers level type of mob. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm scared to read the Eminem Show one. The Eminem Show. This album is the closest to a perfect Eminem album we will ever get. It's not my favorite, but the only songs I have problems with are Say What You Say, you already know why, Soldier, and My Dad's Gone Crazy. Oh no. Say What You Say is a great song, hurt by a 5 out of 10 in bland beat. Soldier isn't the best for re-listens. Basically, it's a worse telling of what Say Goodbye Hollywood covers. My Dad's Gone Crazy, while being a great song, isn't the best as a final track. When the music stops would fit 8 million times better as the ending track. Overall, still an amazing album, but one that is made even better because this is when Eminem stopped making huge jokes on every track and really started being serious with his music. 9 out of 10. I agree with like some things you said as well, similar to the Slim Shady LP, but this is a 10 out of 10 album. This is perfection to me. I mean, it sucks that you don't get as much enjoyment from like Say What You Say and Soldier, but like, I don't know, it's just, I think this album did everything right. This is a perfect album and I'll stand by that till the day I die. And lastly, we got the Marshall Mathers LP 2. This album is the closest thing we have to a modern day Eminem masterpiece. Yeah, this album is good, but suffers. Bad Guy is good, but honestly, I'm not a big fan of the beat. Rhyme or Reason is a good song I used to hate, then I loved. Now, I don't know my stance on the song, but So Much Better is fun. If you don't consider Encore a bottom 3, Encore's a top 5 for me. Survival is good, but underwhelming. Legacy is a song I thought I was gonna hate once the first verse was over. But once that second verse started, it became a top 5 Eminem album. Asshole is bad, enough said. Berserk is good, Rap God is good, but super out of place on the album. Brainless is bad, enough said. Stronger Than I Was is way too overhated. Finally. So Far and Love Game are bad, enough said. Headlights is the second best song, and Evil Twin is the best. My only problem with it is the chorus is amazing, but it's only spoke once. It might as well just be part of a verse. 4 out of the 15 songs are bad, and even though I had a problem with some of the previous album songs, I wouldn't call any of them bad songs. So this album is honestly a 6 for me. I'm sorry, 6 out of 10. Wow. So yeah, this was a hot take. 1 out of 3. Sorry I write novels length hot takes. It's alright. That's what I'm here for. But I'm not here for the slander, disrespect. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, but wow. Oh man, I love Marshall Mathers LP 2. A 6 out of 10 is insane. Honestly, I'm curious to know what you rank the others then. I disagree with almost everything here personally. I mean, I don't think there's a single bad song on the album personally. But that's just me. From Player Puyo Puyo. Hot take. Bad Guy is better than Stan. Really hot take. Revival is great. You know, when I first listened to Bad Guy, I wasn't like in love with it. I thought it was alright. Every time I listened to it, I end up liking the song even more. I don't know if it'll ever reach the level of Stan for me, but hey, I mean, I've seen a couple people say this, so it is a hot take, but it's not the craziest thing I've heard. As for your Revival take, I'm almost there, honestly. I think it's a very good album. I think it's solid. Definitely overhated. And I love to see Revival get love. From BK Games 700. Hot take. Relapse is better than Marshall Mathers LP. Okay, there's two types of people. Those who put the Marshall Mathers LP at the very top of their list. Most people. And then the Relapse cult followers. You know, you're either gonna get love or hate from the Relapse cult followers. I personally disagree. I think Marshall Mathers LP is his second best. Maybe third. But Relapse is great, you know. I love all his albums. From Just a Little Shady, hot take. Eminem's best album is Encore, alright? Hot take 2. The worst is Kamikaze. Okay. Hot take 3. My first single is horrible in my opinion. Okay. So the first one is definitely a hot take because most people don't like Encore. I love that album. It's peak. It's definitely in the top half for me. Maybe. Yeah, it's definitely in the top half for me. So, I'm not mad at it. I just feel like a lot of people would definitely disagree. Kamikaze being the worst. I've stated it before. It used to be, if we're not counting Infinite, it used to be Revival, but Revival's gone up, and I do think Kamikaze is the worst Eminem album, excluding Infinite. And then, my first single is horrible. Yeah, the world kind of just agreed on that. I disagree, because I think it's overhated, you know? It's a fun song. It's solid. Nothing special, nothing out of the world, but it's not, like, utter trash. But hey, thank you for your comment. Next one we got is Infinite is really good. Bad Meets Evil is the best song on some Shady LP. Encore is also really good. Relapse is honestly pretty bad. And Music to Be Murdered By is really good. Okay, so Infinite, I wouldn't say it's really good. It's honestly just okay. There's 2-3 standout tracks, and the rest kind of just, you know. But I'm glad you really enjoy Infinite. Unless you mean the song, I just realized. Yeah, Infinite is actually amazing, the song. Bad Meets Evil is not the best song on the album for me. It's actually like bottom 3, bottom 5. But I'm glad you love it. I know a lot of people love the song too. So, Encore is really good. The song and the album are both amazing. So, that's a W for me. Relapse is honestly pretty bad. You better run. That's all I'm gonna say. I disagree though. I love Relapse. I love all the albums, like I said previously. And Music to Be Murdered By Love, of course, I'll keep saying it. It's always welcome here on this channel. Peak. From Flute Fox 3177. Hot take, Kim is in the same league, if not better, as Stan. Okay, hear me out. Kim is actually like, it's a great song. Like, I understand the circumstances and stuff, but as like, Eminem is just amazing, bro. I don't know if it's better than Stan, but I do think it's in the same league, honestly. So I agree. I'm not sure how others would feel. From Totally Not a Joke 114, hot takes. Relapse is the best Eminem album. Music to Be Murdered By being a close second. Second one is most of his popular songs aren't that good. Next, most of who he collabs with make the song worse, meaning the others on it make it worse, not him for any confusion. And lastly, Infinite is better than Encore. Okay, for the first one, disagree. But I love to see Music to Be Murdered By. Love, of course. But hey, for all the Relapse lovers, here's your guy. Most popular songs aren't that good. I feel like that's like a 50-50 with people. Like myself, I'd say, hey, they're popular for a reason, you know? They're that damn good. And they're just like more mainstream, I guess. But, you know, there's also so many hidden gems and underrated songs in his catalog. His discography is full of better songs than his popular ones. The third one, I agree for the most part. Like sometimes these features are just like so mid or underwhelming, or they very well could ruin a song. Sometimes they make it, sometimes they don't, but for the most part I do kind of agree. And then Infinite better than Encore. The album or songs, either way, I disagree. But this might be a hot take just because although people do dislike Encore, it has a lot of diehard fans, and Infinite is at the bottom of most people's list. From Jack Goat Edits Games, Taking My Ball is in top 5 Relapse refill with all 24 songs in it. I'm not sure if this is a hot take because I never really see people talk about Taking My Ball in any like negative way, but also I hardly see anybody really like praising it. It's not in my top 5, but it is a pretty good song. Comment down below what you guys think about Taking My Ball. It's a pretty solid track, just not in my top 5. From Ivo B4K, hot take, Beautiful Pain is Eminem's saddest song. It's one of them, for sure, but I don't think it's number 1. I'm not even sure what I'd put as his number 1 saddest song. There's quite a few, actually. Wow. Honestly, probably Temporary. Beautiful Pain is also amazing, so. From JP Gaming and Fun, here's one. Eminem's songs with Dre, like Forgot About Dre, are extremely underrated. So Forgot About Dre itself, I don't think it's underrated because everybody loves that song. But other songs, they kind of are. I can't even lie. I never really thought about it. So you're kind of right, honestly. Half agree, half disagree. There are definitely some underrated songs for sure. And lastly, from SD Nam Original, hot take, Revival is overhated and Never Love Again is his best song. Also, why do you hate Yaya? Okay, I'm gonna address the Yaya thing. I already mentioned earlier. The Revival take, agreed. I mean, again, I've said it many times. I just keep liking the album even more and more over time. And Never Love Again, honestly, to see somebody say this is the best or favorite song ever just puts a huge smile on my face. It's my favorite on Music to Be Murdered By. It's honestly a top 10 for me. So seeing this, it just fills me with joy. So that's a big W in my books. What a perfect way to end the video. Leave more comments for part 3.